Test these nuts. Test.
Testicle.
Ah, man, that's it. I'm gonna have to ask you to log off for me, sweetie.
Looks like this is episode number 4 of the Get Out My Room podcast. I am your host, Trey Lachey, and I have with me Nikki J here with us as our co-host tonight.
Nikki,
welcome, best friend.
Regal. Thank you. Finally made it.
Yeah, after all this time, we got you.
3-hour plane ride, 20-minute car drive.
Ooh. In the midst of all of that, I almost dropped my water bottle on the floor.
And I got work tomorrow in California, huh?
Oh, yeah. You're on West Coast time. Well, so I'm happy to have you here on the show today. Usually what we would do is we would start with, like, a word of the day, usually which is a verse of the day that we find. And we just discuss that and kind of see what it speaks to us. But today I want to try to switch that up and do something a little different with Nikki J here. What I want to do is let's talk about, is there anything that you feel that you're just what's on your mind? Let's call this a release moment.
You know, so many things. I mean, listen, to quote you, listen, Linda, look, you ever been so tired that you can't think, but yet things are getting done around you and you don't know how?
Oh,
like
for
you
sure.
You just traveling through life. Like I feel like I'm floating.
You're on autopilot. You're just on autopilot.
I was at work today and I got dizzy and I thought, this is it. And then the dizziness passed and I just went back to work. Like this is not how we're meant to live. This is not it.
Oh, hell no. No. That's not okay, actually.
No.
Well, you ever thought about, I mean, therapy is nice, and I know that it's a thing that a lot of people suggest, but
you hear so many bad experiences about it, you know?
You really do, honestly. It's like you do, but I understand, like, I guess because I have a better, I don't know, an understanding of what it is you could truly, like, just with me opening, like, as you know, I kind of opened up to you about something earlier today, like, you know, we just had a serious discussion basically, but we were talking, like, I felt like that was something I was releasing for the first time that I don't think I could actually express before, and I think talking it out truly just, like, it opened so much more for me, and because you and I are very, like, we're the type of people who are very much self-aware in certain regards to where we know we need to improve. Whereas a lot of other people, you can't say the same for them. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, but you can't really say it's the same for a lot of other people out there who like to bottle a lot of things up, and that's true for a lot of people. But I know that you and I communicate very well. So I know that me expressing all of that to you earlier, for whatever reason, it just made me feel so much better. And essentially, that is what a therapist is supposed to be there to do. I think the biggest problems is when we basically, I don't know, we have to find the right person to disclose all this information with, and, like, you know, for someone you're actually comfortable with, literally spilling your entire life story or whatever it is that you have to get out, like, to a stranger, but you want this person to be remotely comfortable to you. You know what I mean?
Like, see, and that's the thing I was gonna add too, is that, so for example, if your anxiety is like a lack of trust, you know, like how do you trust the people in your life to actually want to be there with you, but yet you have to go pay someone to listen to your problems? That's kind of, you know, contradictory in a sense. So it only fuels the anxiety.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. It's just more to worry about when it's like, you know, sometimes I think a lot of people take that approach that it would just be easier to, you know, deal with that by themselves. Like, you know what? Yep, pretty much compartmentalize that and suppress the hell out of it. So
it's my little name.
No, but no, for real though, that is something that I think a lot of us like think about, and I feel like it hinders a lot of us from even considering therapy. To be honest with you, I think that's the fear. It's the not only do I have to try, it's like I'd rather just do it myself. You know what? Never mind. Like, you know, I could order that pizza, but I'd rather just make it myself. I know how to do it. You know, like instead. So I get that. It's tough to find that kind of help and outlet. You know what I mean? Like for me, this podcast helps me kind of do that in a way. Like it helps me kind of express the things I'm probably not able to truly express to anybody else. A lot of the time, I don't get too personal on here, but it's an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Yeah,
I can see that. I found this quote about a week ago. That's actually my wallpaper, which none of my students read, which is fine, whatever. That's their loss. But it is from Einstein, and I will change it up for modern times. But it says, "Try not to become a person of success, but try to become a person of value." And that one stuck with me because I've always felt like character is everything in a person, you know? Like, it's one thing to be rich and successful and powerful, but if you are not, like, a good person, if you have nothing to truly offer to people, like, then what even are you? And I feel like, you know, just in 2022, like, people don't work on themselves anymore.
They really don't. That is actually
it's like,
pretty spot on.
Yeah, like, spin, flyest outfit, like, $200 haircut, like just to go look appealing enough for somebody to want to come talk to you. But once they get there, there's literally nothing to bring to the table.
There's literally nothing to bring to the table. Exactly. It's so shallow at that point. And it's just like, you did all of this to get to a point where you guys are just sitting there like, what do we actually have in common? Like, a lot of the time that breeds toxic relationships.
I have to bring it up.
It's like,
I have to bring it up. Like the time we went, we were shooting arrows, and that couple was on a date next to us, and it was the most awkward. Like we were the back wheels to that fire, just speeding downhill, and in their minds they were like, "This is going so well," and it was just so weird.
Bro, what? Chick-fil-A? Where's the nearest Chick-fil-A?
And I answered. There's a Chick-fil-A around here? And I'm like, yeah, it's over in Clovis. Oh.
I'm like, and it sounded like first date material. Like they literally met and matched up on Tinder or something. And like you hear them having this conversation, and this guy, I guess they're planning to go to get some dinner, and they suggest Chick-fil-A, and I'm just sitting here like, why?
Well, she suggested something else, and he was like, I don't really want anything too heavy.
Oh yeah, salad or something yeah. So fucking. Oh god, where were we? Oh, Fresno. I don't know how they get down over there. Was it Fresno?
I think that place is in Clovis.
Either way. Either way, I was like, a fucking salad. Yeah, no, and then they were like, yeah, where's Chick-fil-A? And we're just sitting here like, man, this is the first date. But you know what, though? Let me stop right there and just pull over for a moment. You know, Chick-fil-A is probably not a bad, like, if you're on a first date, honestly, that's kind of as real as it gets, because it really could have been like, I don't know, man. Something about that is a bit honest. I'll respect that. But a salad, like, did you really want a salad, dude?
Right, or did you just, like, not want her to judge your food choices? So you thought you'd pick something she would like.
Right, which is a problem. Either way, I don't know how.
Yeah, I was about to say, either way, like, either you are feeling that salad, and she's gonna be like, great, now I have to be on my P's and Q's with this guy. Or you were just trying to appease her, and she's like, oh, great, now I have to be on my P's and Q's with this guy.
Yeah, it's like a lose-lose situation.
Because all women will say, oh, I'll take the salad, but they don't want the salad.
Ooh, I'm so
secret
unique.
for you guys out there is they don't really want that salad.
They don't really want the salad, man. They don't. Honestly, I was about to say though, I'm unique in the sense that he could have said salad, and I'd be like, can we also go to a place that has salad and burgers? Like, I try to find a compromise there. Like,
right. That's so great for you.
That's so good for you. But I think I want a quesadilla. Like,
with some sour cream and guacamole.
made me think of the quesadilla night in LA.
Oh my gosh. Let's go. Oh, also, do you have any acid reflux pills in the car? Just being honest.
So many plates that night, bro. Oh my god.
How many? 6.
I don't know what I was thinking, bro. Like, I really thought it was like I started to question, like, have I actually had a real quesadilla before? Like,
now you have.
Well, no, and that was the thing. But prior to that, my idea of a real quesadilla, for whatever reason, the only quesadilla I've ever had was the ones you get at Taco Bell. So, they're not.
Oh my gosh.
They're not.
Yeah.
Not,
you had to learn.
Yeah, that was a painful lesson to learn.
You literally got in the car. I was like, how many did you order? I don't know. You think 6 is enough?
No, because
I looked in the back seat. Like, who do you see that I don't?
No. I got in the car because the girl who was serving me looked at she was like, she goes, 5 quesadillas? and like, eyes shot wide open, and I was just like, yeah? Like, is that, what is the big deal? And she gave me my ticket, and she gave me that look of, okay. And
you literally could have been ordering for like more people. Like, what is the judgment?
That's what I said too. I was like, you don't know who I have in that truck. That's what I'm thinking.
It is 2 a.m, and you are confused as to why somebody who is obviously under the influence wants 5 quesadillas.
It's like, what if I?
Like, you're asking the wrong questions.
Exactly. Like, what if I could put that away? Why are you surprised at that? You know what I mean? Like, why is this a reason?
I could be a professional eater. There's so many variables.
All right, so many variables. So, in hindsight, yes, that reaction was really weird. Now that we're talking about it, but
yeah,
that made me so insecure because I came back to the truck that night. I was just like, yeah. She looked at me kind of weird when I ordered, and he didn't even ask me how many did you order.
Yep, that was my first question, the most important question.
I was like, well, 5. And your reaction, I remember like it was yesterday, was 5 quesadillas? Bro, oh my god, that was
sick. I was like, I'll help you. Ate half of one time. Nope.
Didn't we already
all
eat,
filled up
like earlier then?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we had that night, but oh man. I was like, well, gotta put it away there. I was not prepared for that at all. We tried to give it to the homeless, and they didn't even want it.
I don't even remember where we stayed, because I'm getting my trips crossed up with another trip.
What is the name of it? We stayed at a hotel close
was it a Marriott?
No, it was, it was the name, like, I'd only heard, is it Cambria? Is that what it's called?
Okay.
Yeah. And over there in El Segundo. And
I'm telling you, man, I got all my trips like crossed because I'm thinking about the trip where I got my car freaking towed because a friend parked in a KFC parking lot instead of the street. Ooh, I hate the city. I hate the state.
Yeah, that's so stupid. So stupid. And me thinking about that made me grit my teeth. That triggered me just a moment ago. You know why. But like that triggered me. But yeah, no, that was I had some fun trips. Honestly, I would really love to go back to California, like when it's safe to do.
Like let's go to the beach. Just sitting in the sand. Are you ready to go?
Dip my toe in the ocean. That was nice. What
stand on the inflatable. Stand on the inflatable. Feet burning.
Oh, my feet were hot. I could not handle it. I was like, wait a minute. And then we see this
no
guy.
one tells you how hot sand can get, huh?
Seriously. So we're referring to my first time at the beach. That is what we're currently talking about. Had never been to a beach before, and first time in a beach in Malibu, and it was nice. It was nice, but that sand was hella hot, and yeah, that was a problem. That was a problem. I felt like I had like scorched feet after that trip. Like that was I can still.
Talking about we learned we are not our ancestors.
But then see this is why I thought I could get away with it, because I see this guy just running across the beach. Like, you remember that? And I was just like,
got slave feet.
Either that or he was just way too close. He knew the drill. He was like, no, you're not supposed to be in the dry.
He probably was on the watery sand.
Yeah. Because I was like, I oftentimes think about that, and I'm like, how was he able to do that? But I couldn't just walk to the car barefoot.
You'd have to. It is so hard to run on sand. Like, you'd have to run close to the water where it's flat.
Like, where it's flat, yeah. And now that I recall, like, I feel like he was closest to the water. I don't think I picked that up, but I was just like, how are you doing that? Like, he is full on running in the sand.
I'm telling you that. I tell everybody who's never been to the beach, like who's never experienced real sand, the hardest thing to do is to literally walk in sand. Like, people make it look so, oh, I love long walks on the beach. Have you ever been to the beach? Because it's probably not your answer.
Yeah.
It's probably not it.
But now that I think about it, I almost feel like anytime we see someone, even on TV, walking on the beach, it's always close to the water. Why haven't I ever thought about that? Like, I just thought about that. So it's like, yeah, they'll have their like pants cuffed up or rolled up or whatever, and they'll just be walking by the water. That makes so much sense. Oh my gosh. That was you
can't walk to that dry shit. I take one step and I sink down like quicksand. Oh, what is this? How are you guys floating?
Yeah, now that's that's some skill right there. That is some skill.
Well, you go tiptoe across some sand. That is a fit person's game.
I know, and that's what I was looking at. I was like, that dude is fit. That is a fit person, and I am not near that level.
Taking the stairs.
Right, I take the stairs and I mean, winded. At least at that point.
Like crossing that bridge to get to the beach in LA?
The hot ass. It wasn't even hot, honestly. It was just a lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's a crowded bridge. And thinking about COVID right now.
I looked you dead in your eye, and I was like, you want to hit that beach? And you were like, no, I'm okay. Like, all right.
We walked around. I just wanted to see the pier. That is it. I was like, if I see
all the cars I've driven off that pier on GTA, yeah. No, hold on. That's all you said. I want to see what I see on GTA.
That's all I wanted, and I got exactly that. I was like, I don't need to go any further. You did right by sending us to that other beach, because seriously, I can't imagine that, especially not today.
No, I don't recommend Santa Monica Pier to anybody. Yeah. To anyone.
You're gonna meet some characters
boardwalk,
there, though.
The boardwalk is fun one time.
He said after that, been there, done
Once
that.
you leave, there's no point in coming back.
Right. Oh, man. So, let's talk about that slap, because when I initially saw it on my timeline, I immediately thought that it was staged, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? So I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Like he went for the sting factor. He cocked back. Pop. I don't know.
That was an almighty slap if I ever heard one, for sure. And
is that the first time violence has ever ensued
at the Oscars?
At the Oscars?
That's a good question. Is it? I think it might be, honestly. And
like for anybody listening, like last night, Will Smith, which you've probably seen anywhere in the news, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock clean across the face for a joke that was made, about his wife.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a G.I. Jane joke that Chris Rock made in reference to Jada Pinkett Smith's not having hair. Not to be insensitive, But that was essentially what happened, and he actually later admitted that he didn't even know that she had alopecia. And so this, of course, triggered, because she was not happy with that little joke, triggered her, and then thus triggering Will, and there was a domino effect, because then Will power walked up to the stage, went and cocked back to Africa, and then some, and then and if you haven't seen the clip, go check that out, because it's a wild one for sure. It was all over my timeline yesterday. I was at work and literally open Instagram, and it's everywhere. And I'm like, wait, what is happening right now? And I honestly thought it was staged at first, until actually seeing the video. And then you see Will in the crowd basically saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!" And then you're seeing the anger and rage. And it's still, to a degree, I started to question. I was like, well, I mean, he is an actor who literally just won an award for being the best actor. So it's kind of hard to tell. But I think...
no, I saw it live. And like it truly was one of those moments. And I feel like I thought about it too, but I feel like TikTok really solidified it. Is because Chris Rock said the joke, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody laughed. Will Smith laughed. Like, he thought it was funny as hell. Then he looks over to his left, like, or the camera pans left, and we see a very disgruntled Jada Pickett, who was not enthused about the joke. Mm-hmm. We don't see Will again, but we see her, right? And then, like, it goes from her back to Chris Rock. Then Chris Rock starts talking. Right. And then he's like, uh-oh, here comes trouble. And, like, Will literally gets up. Like, he's just walking toward him. And we just see him walk. Like, he thinks it's fun. Like, he's going to say something. And then the way he cocked back, like, it was just... Like, he truly... It was not for force. It was not for strength. It was purely for the sting of that slap.
Yeah.
He literally tried to slap the piss out of him.
Yeah, I can see. Honestly, like, having watched it a few more times after that, I definitely can see that was a real thing. And honestly, though, I think what impressed me the most was the apology from the both of them. Because when you see his apology, and let me actually find it, but there was a few things I thought about that, because literally, it was in Google.
Yeah, you better than me, because I was not here for apologies.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
It happened.
Yeah, oh no, it happened. And that's just a moment that's recorded in history that will never come down. They're not going to take that down. Like, it's there. It's cemented in history as the time that Will Smith slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. But
That's what he said. He's like, yo, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me on live television.
He was stunned. He couldn't even finish saying what he was going to say.
He was stunned. Just mouth open. Like, just a true Chris Rock face.
So, Will Smith says, "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man that I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendings, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will." So I read all that because a lot of what I saw in here made me say, okay, that was a true to form, genuine apology. And most celebrities you can tell when their publicist has hopped on board and are like, bro, you got to fix this. You know what I mean? Not saying that his didn't, but you can tell he truly meant that, because he points out where, first of all, he says, I'm directly saying to you, Chris, I'm sorry. Like, addressing this publicly because I embarrassed you publicly. So I'm going to apologize publicly. I'm going to tell you directly, I'm sorry to you. I was out of line. I did what I did. I had my reasons for doing it, but that's not how I want to be reflected. And then he goes on to even apologize to the Williams family and just letting them know, like, because I mean, honestly, that was, had that not happened, like, that probably would have been a really very beautiful moment when he actually won the Oscar for his performance in King Richard, because that was already a good movie. And I don't know if have you seen that movie, King Richard?
I did not, but the controversies around it are keeping me from watching it, and I'm okay with that.
I did not know that there were any controversies around that.
Yes. Well, we'll get into that another day, but
okay. Well, okay, so I saw it, and I honestly thought, I mean, like, we know Will can act, but I don't know, it was something about that movie, like, it was so good to a point where, like, by the time it ended, I didn't want it to end. Like, I was like, wait, that's it? There's not, like, more? And it almost made me want to go see, like, or watch a documentary on, like, Venus and Serena's, like, story, basically. But I saw, like, one, like, it was, like, a Serena documentary. That's beside the point. Needless to say, his apology, it pointed out, it was like, hey, man, look, I know that I've forever tainted this from being what it was supposed to be with my my rage and me acting out the way that I did. And he was mindful to enough to mention that in his apology, which is why I felt that it was very genuine. Whereas there are people who would be like, well, I'm sorry that you got offended at the way that I slapped shit out of you, but you should have never, like, so his whole approach was decent. I like that he admitted that he overreacted, and it was just like, okay, maybe it was a bit too much, but I was just reacting emotionally. Chris Rock,
and I think he did it because he needed to prove to his wife that was not okay, because he laughed at first. He laughed at the joke. Like,
I know, and that's everyone's holding on to that part, that he laughed at the joke. Yeah.
And then I feel like once he realized that it hurt her, he was like, now I have to overcompensate. So he reacted angrily because he was like, okay, so my wife is obviously hurt. And then he got up and did what he had to do. But I feel like he looked over at her and she was like giggling or laughing or chuckling, it would have been a different story.
Well, because also someone raised a valid point too as to how when like these celebrities are there at the Oscars, the camera is always on them. So like them laughing at a joke that may not even be funny, they're just kind of like, they're kind of having to do that for the sake of, well, I'm on camera. Yeah, he just told a joke, so let's just kind of ha 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 ha. And I believe, like, I read somewhere, like, there was a comment somebody said, and then it might have been on Facebook or something, where they were like, well, honestly, I believe that when he laughed, it was more or less like a snarky kind of thing before he got up and basically did what he did. So, like, his laugh was just kind of like a ha ha ha, not, and then he goes and he gets up and he slaps shit out of him. But I don't know. Like,
he gave us a toothy smile. So I don't know.
Like, he had some veins coming out of his head. I saw that. So I was
and then there's some actors who don't blink. Like, they don't skip a beat. Like, no laughter, nothing. So it's not like they're required. But, like, they do it, like you said, to lighten the mood. But there are some who keep it very mellow. So, and I feel like had it not been funny, he would have been looking like Jada. He would have been mad from the get-go.
Yeah, see, I don't know, even without the slap, without the offense,
I don't know why that triggered me. You say even without the slap, like, I just internally giggled. He really did, just grown-ass slap another man.
I mean, he did. And I'm like...
I mean, like, Chris, like, he dipped back, like, he deflected most of it, but he got that chin.
Oh, no, he got his ass. And then the thing about it is just, like, I'm sure that his pride hurt worse than the slap. Like, that was just like, oh my god, this nigga just slapped the shit out of me in front of a live audience and live television.
Yeah, he was just, I think he was confused. Right. True confusion washed over his face. And then the second one was like, y'all just gonna let him go sit back down?
Like,
we're not going to address this.
He just slapped the shit out of me. Like, he just did that.
Right. I feel like had it been any other person, and you know what I'm getting at here, had it been any other person, Will Smith would have walked out of there, hands behind his back.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. But because it was Chris Rock, they were like, you know what? This is between them. We don't get into this.
And it just, I can't stand that too because you
That's black man beef right there. We not doing it.
Because of the black man beef, and that's why I'm just like, see that. But I'm happy that they handled it like men. Even Chris Rock's apology was just like, look, I wasn't aware, and I'm sorry. My intent was not to hurt anybody. Like he did actually apologize for that, and his apology seemed pretty sincere as well. So I don't know. I just think that was just a wild moment. We are living in stressful ass times.
I'm telling you, I'm really sitting here like he just really whole ass slapped another man on live television in front of a room full of people. Mm-hmm. A room full of well-dressed, like it's supposed to be a classy night.
In a rich room.
In a rich room, when you walk up, one of 3 black men in the whole room, and you go slap the second black man in the room.
And the fact that it was a slap, and I think that's really what's sticking with me right now, is that it was a slap and not a fade. Like, not even, like, it wasn't a punch.
Hey, Chris, what if 5 fingers said in the face?
It was a straight up slap. And it, honestly, I don't, that's what makes something that shouldn't really be that funny. Like, it's...
I bet Chris Rock caught him after the show, talking about, why you hit me? And he looked him dead inside, talking about, I hit you tonight.
Sorry, Charlie. I was just having too much fun.
No recollection.
Oh, no. He recalled exactly what he did. He knew what he did. He said, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this night, and then I'll apologize tomorrow. And he straight up went to the after party, was getting jiggy with it, and was just like,
I hate that song so much. Get jiggy with it.
But,
Bruh.
oh, man. Yes, that was a wild one. That was a wild one. Did it make me want to watch the Oscars going forward? Hell no. But
nah,
it was definitely
not rich enough to enjoy it.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, even if I were, I wouldn't watch that. The Oscars, all these award shows right now are just kind of, and the Oscars have never been 100% with me anyway, because I feel like they've cheated a lot of people out of Oscars that should have gotten one.
That is true, and that is truly documented. They have documentation of that.
Yes.
But above all else, it is literally a room full of like the most self-centered, like what I put it, most self-centered theater kids. Mm-hmm. You know, the ones who made it.
Yeah.
In a room, like just praising themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like, oh, what have you done for society? You made a film, made a bunch of money, and now you're getting awarded for it by other people who have also made films and made a bunch of money. Like, you are voting on yourselves here.
Yeah. And honestly, none of us poor folk are invited except except via TV. So
right. Like, what kind of dystopian future have they created for us? Like, we are there and we don't even know.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we're there. We're like, honestly, and the fact that people actually tune in to watch this shit, like. I don't know.
The craziest part, though, is that when I saw that stage, I said, oh, we in the future.
See, I never even paid attention to the stage.
This is different. That stage was nice.
Isn't it usually at the what is it, the Kodak Theater or whatever? Is that where they hold that?
I don't know, but for some reason it seems smaller this year, so I honestly can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything looks bigger on TV, and then you get there, and the actual venue is like a House of Blues.
Talking about it's only 75 people in that whole.
Hey, right, and you're thinking it's a whole massive crowd of rich folk, and it's just
right.
It's a few tables of rich people.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks on one side, Samuel L. Jackson on the other side. That's it, y'all.
And there you have it.
Top 50.
Mm-hmm. They're the only ones invited in that room. Everybody else got to wait by the red carpet.
And that's what tickles me, because the actors of Euphoria were there. I'm like, but were they in the room? Were they allowed in, or were they allowed at the after party?
And
How many parties are there?
And then another thing, why are they at the Academy Awards when their whole bag is the Emmys, right?
I don't know.
Well, Academy Awards.
I don't know
for motion
what the rules
pictures
are for getting invited.
Like cinemas, you know. movies.
Yeah.
And they are a part of a city, but even still, like they even invited Kev on stage, and what's it, Terrell, from YouTube, and
So basically, you're telling me we don't have to aim far to get the invite.
oh no. I mean, no,
Bruh.
that's no shade to either Kev on stage or Terrell. They're doing big things, but
No, but just compared to Denzel Washington, they got an
yes,
invite.
exactly. In comparison to Denzel, yeah, like they got an invite, so we just gotta get somewhere close.
Right.
Just to be on that red carpet or near it.
At this point, you just got to throw the ball.
Right. And then you'll see us in the back in the camera.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too. But yeah, so but that happened. That happened for sure. That slap heard around the world. That was the true slap heard around the world. But
You look you know the one thing that got me though about the Oscars, like why was Lady Gaga there? She made one movie.
no, she was in House of Gucci, right?
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
Okay,
I didn't
that
hear
makes
great
sense.
things about it though.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know that I heard good things about that movie.
Like, girl, you at the wrong ceremony.
But yeah, I mean, again, they invited a bunch of other people I didn't expect to be there, so who knows what the fucking protocol is for that. But yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, an eventful moment and a very uneventful night.
Yeah, it really was. It's like literally one of those things that people are going to probably talk about and be like, hey, remember when Will Smith just slapped the piss out of Chris Rock on stage in front of everybody?
I'm going to bring that up at the most inopportune times.
Oh, for sure. That's the only time to bring it up, really. Like, but aside from that, what the hell, what else do we talk about?
Bro, I went blank. Hold on. We had a whole lineup here.
We did.
I got carried away I could have kept going on the Oscars, honestly. I got sucked in. What else did we talk about? You had a list. I thought you wrote it down.
I mean, I had a bunch of stuff, but those are just like, I mean,
Right,
literally.
Let's go down the list.
Lunchables. Let's talk Lunchables.
I was like, skip. Lunchables.
Were you not the type of kid to get the Lunchables for lunch? Well, no, I know you, because if I weren't, I don't know why most black kids were not the kids to get like the Lunchables for lunch every time. Like that had to be a field trip event only.
Because the motherfuckers cost so much.
So much. Yeah, exactly. If you
we got the cheese and cracker Lunchable for $1. But that big box, like that was when you were getting straight A's, like.
And honestly, you got more than I did, because I only ever got a Lunchable for field trips. And that's how I knew, like, and then I would go wild too, because I'd be like, oh man, and then of course my mom would be like, you'd only have one. And I'd have to choose wisely. But I looked forward to those field trips because I knew my mom would pack my lunch so much. Like, she'd put so much in that lunchbox for me. And it's the only time I ever actually had, like, lunch I was excited about, like, as a child. But I knew kids back then that would just get Lunchables on the daily. And I'm like, why? Why can't I have a Lunchable for lunch every day?
Because your people stood out in the sun too long. But anyway, my beef was that, like, field trips, right? Mm-hmm. Every parent's making lunches, this and that. I never had my lunch made. Never. I'll be in the kitchen at 9:30, tears in my eyes. I'm like, well, I gotta do it.
You had to make your own lunch? Yeah, I can see that.
Yes. Like, I felt like a damn child indentured servant in my own home. She had me washing clothes, doing the dishes. Just unlocked sadness.
What you want to eat tomorrow for lunch? PB&J? Well, you better go in there and make it. Like,
right. Why don't you make my lunch? Because you get the free lunch.
Oh,
what? No, but I didn't get free lunch as a kid, but she sure did make me get lunch at school. Yeah. But I was not a picky eater, so it was fine. I was the opposite, and that was the problem.
Well, see, I was going to say, like, lunch back home for me, lunch in elementary school in New Orleans was pretty good because we had I remember we had like red beans and rice and it actually tasted really good. Then we have they actually started this thing where they would serve Domino's pizza every Wednesday, and then if you wanted an extra slice, you had to pay $1 for it.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah, they did that, and I guess maybe they had some sort of some partnership or something with Domino's. And I don't know, but they were able to serve Domino's for lunch. And then they tried to make their little extra side hustle. And if we wanted an extra slice, we had to pay $1. And I didn't catch on to that as a child. But as an adult, I look back on that and I said, wow, they was hustling us.
Y'all got ripped the hell off.
We sure did. And they just pocketed that money. Either way, they really did that.
It's like my secret dream to be a principal. I don't want it, but like it wouldn't be bad, you know?
Yeah.
Like I really would Tony TV that to the best of my abilities. All right, welcome back, students. Welcome back, pitbulls.
With the keys jingling.
I would have too much fun with it. You just wait for Halloween. But nah, back to these field trips though. Like in all honesty, like the Lunchables were the dope part, especially the big box that was like $2 back in the day. Now it's like $3.99. It's a ripoff, complete ripoff. How in 15 years have you doubled the price of a cardboard box with like snack foods in it?
I didn't know that they still sold the big boxes. Like I know, so when I think of like a Lunchable for like a field trip or something, the one that I always reference is the hamburger Lunchable. You remember that one with the actual cola inside?
Yes.
That was the one because I was like, it comes with a Coke, and it's a burger, and it came with chocolates on the side. Like,
see, now I'm thinking about the hot dog one with the sodas.
Oh, see, yeah, I remember that one too. I was always the burger person, but
that's the one I would get.
Yeah, see that, and then like my mom would pack a side of like Chips Ahoy cookies. Like it would be the chewy kind though. But like she'd put that in a little Ziploc bag, maybe a little side of chips, and then some Capri Suns because she knew that little cola in the box wasn't gonna be enough. And so she used to, or like the little Kool-Aid jammers, the little Kool-Aid bottles or whatever. And and that would be my field trip lunch, and I would be so excited for lunch every time a field trip occurred. Not the actual field trip, but the lunch. So
I can't tell you any place I've ever been, but I can tell you what I ate when I got there.
But now that feels like the Lunchables for kids now is just it's whack. It's not hitting the same.
They're so bad, and then on top of that, like. You buy this Lunchable to take to school, and then you get there, your Lunchable's not doing you right. Let me go through this line, get some food. And as somebody who works in a school, I can wholeheartedly say that, like, school food has just plummeted since we were in school. Like, I don't know what they're eating, but it is not what we had. I feel like we ate, like, kings and queens in elementary school.
In comparison,
yeah. Like, because I've eaten some of those meals, and it is awful. Like, it's awful.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's not. In that season, I have a kid who screams anarchy every time he has to eat. And he's like, what is the budget here? I'm like, who are you? But I get it. I get it.
What?
He does. Like, he'll be like, wow, they can't even afford decent meals. Like, what is this? The budget is insane. And I'm like...
Just imagine this kid with his cafeteria lunch, his fork in hand. He's just like, he just drops the fork. Anarchy.
He literally, that's accurate. Or like the bell will ring, he'll take his whole tray, drop it in the trash, and be like, disgusting. He's lost weight this year from not eating lunch at school. It's that bad.
That is a problem.
That
is a problem.
Oh my gosh.
No. You got your kids calling you out on your school lunch bullshit? Dude. That's not okay.
I'm telling you, it's bad. Like, I remember, was it our middle school that had, you could buy the rolls, right? They had the little snack thing, you could buy the slushies and the rolls. Am I right?
I believe so. Actually,
didn't they sell pizza too?
They did, and I just finished talking about this with my brother.
I can still taste that pizza.
Yeah, like they sold the little personal circle pizzas they were so good, and they used to be in the snack line. And they didn't they have like the cookies and the
there's a reason I am the way I am today,
cookies?
man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if it was like the Obama administration that changed all that shit. Really, I don't.
On paper, but it was the most unhealthiest junk. But I was dropping $5 a day on that pizza.
It was, but it's like you knew. Like my mom would put money on my lunch account all the time, and I would just blow it. Like she put like $20 on there, and it would just go to nothing but snacks, not the actual lunch.
You got a quarter? Let me get a third. And I would. Right. I go buy like 3 or 4 rolls. Why were there no regulations? Y'all really let me sit in middle school and blow up. It was like, she ain't got no control.
And then get to your 6th. Get to your 6th or 7th period and just be dog tired talking about
just fucking carb sweats. It was awful, but amazing. I don't even know what I had at the end of the day, but I know it was thought provoking classes, and I can't.
It was usually like, for me, it was always usually like a math class or something like that. And I hated having math at the end of the day because it's like I already don't understand the shit, and now I have to try and figure this out, like. At the very tail end of the day when I'm tired and I'm just ready to go home. I really don't care about this. So I think they just set me up for a failure.
Like, they really let like a bunch of 10-year-olds with pockets full of money go buy whatever they wanted every single day. It wasn't like it's a Friday snack shop. It was every day.
Yeah, they did that.
You know what? I need to write a letter to Michelle Obama. She out here saving kids' lives. Because, like, really, I think about that. I'm like, who would I have been had they not let me do that every single day? I have a crippling pizza addiction.
But see, I wouldn't even blame school lunch for that because it's not like, even outside of school lunch, pizza probably still would have been a problem for me.
See, and that's the thing. I had my mother on the outside telling me, no, we got food at home. I didn't have that at school. You know, I didn't pay for stuff outside of school. My mom be like, no, we're not having pizza. Yeah. That's the end of it. But at school, there was no one.
That was your time to, you know what? I'm going to get a pizza today, damn it. I'm going to treat myself.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? And while we're on this hate that I have for schools all of a sudden, I distinctly remember a situation in high school where we had this person who had just an amazing looking partner, right? Just completely out of their league. And I remember asking him one day, like, dude, how did you pull this off? And they flat out looked me in my eye and looked down at my hand and was like, well, how many burgers is that? And I had never been so offended in my life. And I was, I dropped that food and I was like, look here. This is, I was so offended. Like, how dare you? Gap tooth heifer.
How dare you ask me how many burgers? Right.
Yeah, you think you all that, huh? Get popped.
Bro, that is funny. I only vaguely remember the burgers that they used to sell. But I don't know if it was I was in elementary school.
That's the one thing I can attest to. School burgers have not changed.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. Today was burger day. It was amazing.
Yeah, those burgers, for whatever reason, like the ones I remember, like tasted a bit flame broiled and juicy.
Right, just a little bit.
That's how I remember that. Just a little bit, yeah. And you can always taste a hint of it, and you're like, ooh.
And it was,
you know,
it was like the right kind of dry, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It wasn't like too dry. It was just enough, but you could still taste somewhat of the burger juice, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, oh,
where
man.
Where's this coming from? This is a dry piece of meat. So I ain't gonna ask questions. They know what they doing back there.
Right.
Compliments to the chef. Your burger in the air.
Chef's kiss. Mwah.
Dilly.
Yeah, I see. There's something about the burgers. Yeah, I remember those. But I don't know, somewhere along the lines, I just kind of like strayed away from actual school lunches and just started going toward the snack lines. because they always had the best stuff. That was what introduced me to Crispitos. Crispitos, my God, what a time. That was the only reason to love Mondays. Outside of that, fuck it. Forget it. Because I would even, like, literally, I would just, like, I would literally go to, like, from my whatever period or whatever, like, class I had in that moment, I would literally ask to go to the bathroom just so I can go to the cafeteria and get some Crispitos before they ran out. Like, and just come back with it and be like, I mean, I could not get Crispitos because by the time I get to lunch, they're going to be gone or they're not going to be as fresh. And I'd get some Crispitos and some sour cream. Also, for those who don't know what Crispitos are, it's like a taquito. It's got meat and cheese, and it's pretty much like a taquito but longer, like bigger.
I hate the name, but those things are so good.
They are so.
And you bite into it and get that little pocket of cheese.
Sometimes it'd be so hot, like it'd just be hot, and you're just like, you know,
it wasn't supposed to be like this. You'd be literally sitting in class with a I call them taquitos, with a whole taquito just busted in half on your desk, just trying to cool off.
I'm telling you,
you put that away, and it's
but
too hot.
That's where you put the sour cream on top. It'll
y'all
cool it off
sour
just
cream?
a little bit. Yes, we did. We had the little packs of sour cream.
Nah, we weren't that rich. We just had the thing itself.
Y'all had some dry Crispitos.
And it was so funny because like people would just walk around with them in their pockets, you know, like just be talking to somebody and pull one out your pocket and start eating. It's like a piece of beef jerky.
You just right the whole day. You like the whole day.
How many of those do you have? Don't worry about it. Who do you know?
Just smuggling Crispitos.
You find out your grandma worked back there,
right? He gets all the stuff that they're about to throw away. That's some bullshit. But yeah, no, the school lunches were much different, man. Down to the Lunchables and the school cafeteria lunches, they were just very different for us. Like, even I remember the times where there would even be like drink machines. Like, we had the good drink machines too. Like, we had some like high school. I remember we had some vending machines or drink machines in like the band hall, and we would always go over there and grab a drink. By my sophomore to or maybe junior year of high school, that was gone. It was no longer there. And this was literally probably the year after Obama got into office.
Goddamn Michelle Obama.
Damn Michelle. But she got rid of those drink machines
out here.
And really,
up the place.
All she did was basically our staff ended up taking the drink machine and just putting it into like one of these isolated, like one of these closets that literally no one would think to look into. Because I remember like my senior year, my one of my teachers, a few of my teachers actually, would just be lazy enough to be like, hey, can you go to the teacher's lounge and get me a Pepsi, please? Here's the money. And like, I'd be like, okay. And I'd go there and I'd be like, wow, they have all the snack machines.
Bruh, we had a couple teachers like that too. Hey, I need you to go to the teacher's lounge and buy me a soda. And you felt like you was really doing something, you know? Now as an adult, I'm like,
for sure.
I've done that. I've sent people on my behalf to do things that I did not want to do.
To a point where me and a friend of mine, you know who I'm referring to here, but I'm not going to say her name. But we literally used to sneak into the teacher's lounge to get like cheese danishes or whatever we wanted from the snack machines and the drink machines or whatever. And like they literally had, I don't know if this was a lounge or just where they were holding the machines, but there was like a room that I guess was maybe meant to be a janitor's closet. I don't know. And it was right under the staircase. And like literally no kid would ever think to go there or look in there. And then you go in there and there's just a bunch of machines in there. And I said, wow, I've hit the jackpot. And literally thought it was like the biggest thing back then. And we're like, well, you want a Coke? Let's go get one from the machine. You know, like it got to a point where they actually had to start. Like, I remember some teacher had their kid there after school, and they were just sitting in the teacher's lounge, and he was like, you can't be in here. And I looked him dead in his eye and I said, move out of the way. And like went to go buy my cream cheese Danish and then dip. It was like one of those things like it became a big problem, but at the end of the day, I didn't care. I was like, well, you guys are the only ones that have the good shit here. Like, why would I
I
not
swear,
take
high
advantage
school
of
was
that?
just, it's a different world. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, I remember, like, coming to California for my year of high school thinking, wow, this is how high school should be. And then going back to Texas, first day at school, I go in the cafeteria, I sit down, I still remember I had on some jeans and a brown v-neck. Why? Because it was 2009 and people wore brown v-necks back then.
Yeah. I was
But I
about to say
was sitting
V-necks
at the
in
table.
2009 go together.
Yeah, I remember walking around the hallway that morning and it was so surreal because I was like, I know these kids, but they don't, like, why wouldn't they remember me? I was only gone a year. And, like, all of two people was like, oh, hey. I was like, wow, I really am nothing. So,
Jesus.
so I go to the
Oh, it's
cafeteria.
you.
I sit down. I'm there for all of 4 minutes, and I get up. And California, we have open campuses. You go and come as you please. I played basketball. I had a life here. So why we left? I don't know. I was ready to go. Any little thing irked me. I'd be like, I'm ready to go back to Texas. But that's beside the point. So I'm in the cafeteria for 5 minutes. I get up to leave the cafeteria. There's this aggressive PE white man sitting at the door with shades on indoors. Like he literally looked like PC principal. And I'm like, I'm going to go to the library. He's like, nope, you can't leave. Can't go anywhere. I'm like, sorry, what? You have a pass? You can't go to the library without a pass. And I walked back in that cafeteria and I sat down. I nodded in agreement and I said, I'm getting out of here. 2 years later, I graduated.
This place is a fucking prison.
I did. I graduated at 16 years old. I was like, I am not doing this. You are not going to infringe upon my rights. I went to college at night to prove my point. And I remember sitting in that meeting with my mom and the counselor. I personally, Miss Jackson, I don't understand why. I don't understand why she wants to leave so early. I don't know. I always tell her, take your time. And I'm looking at both of them like, I hate this place. I'm getting out of here. Y'all can't hold me back.
Honestly, I don't even understand the point in questioning a student on why they want to leave early.
Exactly.
Like, no one wants to be in school forever. And then on top of that, like, because I know my school didn't do that. Like, if someone wanted to graduate early, they would just go to the alternative school and graduate early. And that'd be that. Like, and like, hey, I'll see you when it's time to walk the stage. Like, but that was it. Like, they didn't ask questions. They're like, okay, all right, let's get you over there. And that was that, you know. Like, I oftentimes thought about graduating early, but honestly, I don't know, man. It was just, I don't know. I think it's for people who, I don't know, to me, I feel like it's for people who are just, like, comfortable in a state where they can just do worksheets and, dip. You know what I mean? But for me, like, I am a visual learner. I need someone to actually teach me these things. Like, I need that kind of interaction. But then I think about it and I'm like, I probably would have done better off just doing worksheets and getting the fuck. Because it feels like a lot of the teachers I had, especially in the subjects that I needed them to be, like, extra great, weren't that great. So I probably could have just figured the shit out myself.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to be honest. I remember going to class. Like, I would get out of school, have about an hour, and then at 4 p.m. in the dark, because it's Texas, my mom would be dropping me off on TCC campus, and I would, like, go to class, and I learned more in those college classes at, like, 14 and 15 years old than I did at the actual high school. I would take that information back to high school, and that's how I passed, like, some of those tests and stuff. Like, stuff I learned in college, because honestly, I don't know. I had some weird teachers. Like, you dipped at this point, so I don't know what kind of teachers you had, but I had some weird teachers out there. And, like, it's like they all knew what they were talking about, but at the same time knew very little.
I can get that. Honestly, to me, that just feels like when they put, like, when they just throw a coach in there. You know,
yes.
like, a coach.
Literal
like,
coach taught economics. And I'm like, huh.
Yeah. That's surprising to me, though, only because, like, coaches at my school are usually, like, either a science teacher, mostly history teachers. So that, yeah, but, and economics, oh, Lord, hated that class.
And honestly, how do you look out to be an all-day elective teacher? Like, how are you the speech/debate teacher?
Right.
What a dream job.
That is a solid question, because I just remember you said that, and I had a speech class I had to take my freshman year of high school, and he was a tennis coach, and I'm like, literally, you coach tennis and you do speech all day, like literally all day.
What a dream job.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. I wonder if he's still alive now that I think about this.
I think, well, my teacher, I wonder if they still alive.
I know.
I've heard of a couple who no longer are.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know of one for sure that isn't. But I wonder if he is. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, high school, school in general, just some weird times, man. Hard times, weird times.
You telling? I'm still there.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Nothing has changed. It's still very weird. If anything, it's weirder because the references aren't funny.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
And like I've expressed to you, like I work with a bunch of high schoolers, so like the stuff that they find funny or interesting really shows me my age and makes me cringe a little bit, to be honest with you. I hate thinking about it.
It's like a different kind of simple.
It really is, yeah. And then I just noticed they're like so much more reckless with their jokes. I'm not gonna lie, we had some like pretty reckless jokes back then, but they were reckless. Like they are.
Like, how are all of you just like? I guess we didn't have. So when we were young, we didn't have the internet like that. Like, I don't know about you, but I didn't get the internet till I was like 12. You know, I had some time to prepare.
I think, yeah.
These kids only know the internet.
Yeah, that's all they know. Because there was a time where we, like, even, like, the dial-up era, like, I remember that fondly. Just because it brings me back to childhood, of course. But I do remember a time where, like, I still didn't, like, Google was a thing, and I still really didn't understand how to use it. You know what I mean? Like, we also had Ask Jeeves and... what was the other one?
That's what I'm saying. Spending 45 minutes on the computer to get nowhere.
Right. So...
Ask Jeeves. He takes you to another link on Jeeves.
Right. You're like, what are you here
Jeeves
for?
Asking himself questions.
What are you here for, Jeeves?
Right.
So...
You're the worst middleman ever.
Stupid Jeeves. So, yeah, no. I definitely remember a time where, like, we still had to go through, like, we had to actually go to the library and, like, research and for the most part, you know, and, like... We basically like had to look through encyclopedias
to play pinball,
right?
You know,
doing shit we ain't supposed to be doing on the damn computer, playing pinball and solitaire.
No, these kids, 6 years old, they can go look up anything they want. Nothing is a mystery anymore.
And everyone has
a phone. That's why they don't care about anything.
All the kids have a phone.
That's why they don't care. They can look up anything they want. And they be like, oh, well, it is what it is. Well, like their innocence is just shot.
I literally have a coworker. Basically, he's a kid. I don't know. Hopefully, don't listen to this, but he literally just cracks jokes about. Oh yeah, I'm on what did he say? I'm on Adderall and I also do a little bit of cocaine and I like it's like I know part of it is exaggerated, but then sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you know, you make some really outlandish jokes like, I know that we're not, like, a strict place to work, but at the same time, you make some pretty out there jokes for a workplace. Like, this is your humor is very different from what I remember humor being around that age.
Is this humor, or is this
like, do I have a cause? Because I even looked at him, he was like, no, I don't actually do drugs, and I was like, he's like, I take a forensics class, or whatever class, and I was just like, I hope so. Like I told him, I was like, I really hope so. But yeah, that something about the way the kids just their humor is just so dark and so out there now. It's just like, God, like
yeah, it's like a sarcastic. They're being sarcastic about sarcasm.
Which is like, how do you do that?
You don't know what they mean. It's like it's Inception, but for jokes.
Yeah.
For honestly, not for jokes, for literal personalities.
Yeah.
It is. I was like, I can't tell if you were the biggest phony I've ever met in my life, or if this is who you truly are.
Yeah.
And that startles me.
Because either way, it's a problem. Like,
yeah, like nothing is truly genuine.
and yeah, you have to pretty much just like question everything. But then there are times though where,
But here, like, so, sorry to cut you off, but like, this makes me wonder: is it one of those things where, so we were growing up, we had our holier than thou aunts, like we had our family members who were just by the book, blah blah blah, but quick, fast, in a hurry. The second you turn your back, like they are a literal demon. So, fast forward to now, like, are we seeing like more recklessness, or are we just seeing a group of young people who are like, why hide it? Like, why pretend to be somebody I'm not? You gonna know from the jump I am not a good person.
yeah.
And like they relish in that honesty. Like, girl, I'm just telling the truth. Like, no, you're just being a really terrible person, and you're not hiding it.
Yeah, there's no.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, there's no filter. There's no like. It is like literally, it is what it is. Like, I think they have much more of a carefree type of.
Yeah, appearance is out the window as far as personality is concerned.
Yeah, like they're just out there. Whereas
you used to have to get to hang out with somebody for at least a few months before you found out how terrible they actually were.
Now you just know right off the bat, and you're like,
and you still choose them. Like they still, okay, he's a good friend. How? Tell me how.
Like, at least he's honest, right? Like
no,
it's like that's still not okay. Like, he's honestly telling you how terrible he is, and you're still gonna go hang out with him.
He has honestly said he hates you.
Right. Like, he obviously cares. He does not care about your well-being whatsoever. So I don't know, man. And then sometimes I just worry, like, is it that, or are we really just getting to that age where we're looking at it and we're like, God, were we this bad? Like, maybe we are just at a point where we have grown up and we look at it and we're like, whew, I couldn't do that. Just couldn't. Like, but then, again, because so I think about Euphoria, right? And oftentimes I do see, like, even if you, like, look at some of the Twitter threads out there, I'd see people say, well, it's not far from the truth. This stuff actually happens. And I'm like, I don't remember it being that bad.
Right.
Like,
was I not popular? Right. Was that it?
Like, was I just not...
Is this what the popular kids do?
Was I just not that in the know or that popular to understand that this happens?
Nah.
Like,
I think I was in a healthy medium.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew people, but I stayed out of it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But even in high school, we have a friend that we share. And, he had been known to sneak out and do his own thing and not follow the rules too much. And I remember that time, he flat out said, bro, are you coming to play volleyball? No. Well, why not? Like, because you stay there all night. I'm not going to be out till midnight. It's a school night. Just sneak out.
Oof.
And I just...
It's like, okay.
Like, I want to do that much more dramatically, but it's very late. But just the complete... Think of the worst screech you've ever heard in your life. Yes. Yes. I just blew up my mic. Yes. I was like, hold up. I'm sorry, me? Do I watch ID? No, sir.
Not only do I watch ID, but my mother is an African American woman.
Right. Yeah, my mother is black.
Yeah, I'm blackity black, and we don't do that here. Like, I don't know how y'all get down over there, but we don't do that here. Yeah, that.
And he was just so confused as to why I was like, no, like, how dare you? How dare you even suggest getting me in trouble like that? Like, you are not here for me.
Yeah, that's reckless in and of itself right there. Like, you don't care about nobody. You just like.
And just think, it was such it's such an innocent thing. Like, sneak out. Like, so many kids do it, but for me, it was the biggest deal in the world. And that's when I knew. But I want to be okay.
Sneaking out was never a thought process for me.
Yeah, the fear is instilled in me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't think I ever had a moment in high school where I was like, ooh, I should sneak out of the house. Because my thing is,
and then,
where would I go? What?
Right.
Who am I sneaking out of the house
Take
for?
3 steps outside, turn around, I'm going back home.
Right. Talking about why did I do this? Well, I literally wasted my time. I'm probably going to get caught coming back in the house. What was this all for? Like, so I just...
See, and it was worth it.
Yeah, it really was.
It was the perfect build-up, you know? Because then you get to college and then you just let loose in the worst ways. And you're like, who have I become? Who is this person?
Yeah, I've been sheltered for so long. And now I'm out here and I'm running... I'm running the streets because I am an adult, damn it, at 19 years old. And...
I was 16.
See... I'm just like, by the time I got a car, that's what did it for me. And then I was just like, well, I'm going to go wherever I want because I'm at that age and I don't need to ask for permission. I'm too old for that. And needless to say, now I'm at an age where I'm like, I just want to come home, get in the bed, play some Sims, massage my feet, and watch whatever show is on for the night. Like, I'm good here.
Bruh, if that, sometimes I'd be too tired for Sims.
Right.
Sims of all games.
I literally just talked about that today. How Sims, even the Sims, even though it has its like mindless gaming moments, it still works sometimes.
It is. You got to think about it like this too. Is that, you know, it's such a calm, peaceful, mindless game. It's a game at times, but at the end of the day, you are literally playing God. That is exhausting.
Yeah, I just had this conversation with my brother earlier today, and I was like, I don't like to think along the lines of me playing God, even though essentially that's what you're doing. But I put it in terms of like, it's like playing with dolls in a dollhouse. Or God, even better.
Just whispering in their ear, hey, go take a pee. Then eat a sandwich when you're done. They be like, ooh, I need to go pee. I'm going to have a sandwich, though.
And maybe go clean that bathroom.
Right. The toilet's stinking.
The sink is broken.
Fix that shit.
Well, guys, it does look like it is about that time. We actually gave y'all a little extra this episode, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But yes, please follow us at GOMRPod on Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram under BabeRuthless247, and you can follow me on Twitch under EasyBaked93. Please follow me on Twitch because, guys, I want to stream for you. Like, I really want to stream for you. I think it'd be really fun, and I'll stream whatever game you guys want me to stream. So, if I get 5 new followers, I will stream for you guys April 8th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So please go do that. Also, if you guys have something that you want to talk to us about, anything at all, literally, it can be something that bothered you this week, something that you have a great idea for, and you just don't know who to tell, or literally just to say hi, please, by all means, email us at gomrpod@gmail.com, and we will read your email here on the show. You can leave your name anonymous, or you can just make a fake name, or whatever you want to do. And we will happily read the email here on the show. And yeah, believe that is everything. Nikki J, was there anything that you wanted to add?
No, you said it all.
Well, all right. Well, guys, you know the drill, and if you don't by now, it's time for you to get out of my room. Like, seriously, the door is right there. It's been there the whole time.
Yes, skedaddle.
Get